this whole area of rental protections, the issues of evictions, can make your head spin, particularly if you're just someone that simply wants to know what the heck is going on and how can I avoid being evicted from my home because of the impact that COVID-19 has had on my job, on my capacity to actually make ends meet. And so in an effort to try to make sense of all of that, I'm going to try to make sense of what the state of California is doing in relationship to what housing and urban development has done, in relationship to what the CDC has done with regard to some national guidelines on evictions and foreclosures, but really lay out the strategy for this state pursuant to a bill I signed close to midnight 48 hours ago that we believe will protect millions and millions of renters here in the state of California. We actually have a website as well that we hope can clarify and allow for the ability for you and your family to try to navigate some of the most frequently asked questions and access resources so that you can get a real concrete response during this very anxious time. But I want to lead with this. California is very proud of its leadership, leading the nation in renter protection. You may recall last year, a bill 1482, we set forth the strongest eviction protections in the United States of America. Statewide rent cap was put into place. We were able to work with the legislature, work with some settlement dollars that came from an old mortgage settlement that the state had to loosen up the availability of $351 million for counseling services, direct grants, aid to tenants as well as homeowners, which is an important part of this conversation. Clearly, COVID has had a profound impact. And despite having some of the strongest renter protections in the nation, that has not ameliorated the stress, the anxiety that millions and millions of renters and homeowners are facing, struggling clearly with this pandemic. And so we've been working very closely with the legislature over the course of the last number of months. We had put together a number of stopgap efforts around executive orders and what we refer to in the state as the Judicial Council did the same, but those all expired. And so we needed to work in a more inspired way to come together as the legislature, the governor, with advocates representing every perspective of this debate. And we moved forward with new legislation that fundamentally addresses what you see on this page, and that is the impact this virus has had on millions of you. 5.4 million renters at risk now of being, losing their homes. Small property owners being foreclosed on because they can't make mortgage payments because renters can't make the monthly payments. And you can see just from this chart, the impact is disproportionate on our diverse communities, the African-American, Latino community in particular in the state of California, vulnerable, millions vulnerable to being evicted, thrown out onto the streets. The Turner Institute came up with a survey that estimated just in the state of California that renters, specifically as a class in this state, have experienced anywhere from a 50 to 66% drop in their income since this pandemic. Since this pandemic. And that is profound and clearly impactful. And so this legislation was foundational in terms of trying to stabilize for the moment that reality for millions and millions of Californians. What we have is new eviction protections where individual tenant fills out a declaration, a hardship declaration related to the impact of COVID-19 specifically on their ability to make monthly rental payments. We've extended our protections through February 1st of next year. So no evictions for rent non-payment related to COVID-19 through February 2021. There are provisions in the bill, provisions that we've advanced, where people that can we would like to see them make partial rent payments over the next number of months, roughly 25% at least, and that's a minimum, rental payments to help support this collective effort. Again, we're not only supporting renters, we want to be very sensitive to the needs, particularly of small property owners. People with just a few units, people that literally maybe inherited property or saved money, put everything on the line to buy a few rental units, and they have a mortgage that they took out, and they rely on you as a tenant to make those payments in order to make their payments. And so all of this had to be considered, and all of this was as it relates to new foreclosure protections that we put into this bill to expand homeowner bill of rights for units 1 to 4 units, as well as to expand borrower rights as it relates to forbearance. This long way of saying this is all in relationship to how the banks interact with small property owners and putting some light, putting some protections in place in that area as well. An effort, as I said, to make some understanding of all of this, the state of California has put together a new website. And I'm going to ask in a moment that the head of BSCH, which is our Business Consumer Services Housing, basically our housing agency for the purposes of this presentation, Lourdes will come up and she will talk about her work in putting together this site, housingiskey.com. Housingiskey.com. That's the new site. If you can't write that down or don't remember it, but you remember the COVID-19.ca.gov website, the main website, the main platform, we have this information on that site, COVID-19.ca.gov. But this new Housing is Key site is a website that will provide guidance, more importantly, resources, again, not just for tenants, but landlords, homeowners, and the like. Talk about the details of our new eviction framework, what the protections are, what they're not, and try to help explain all of this in a way that not only you can understand, but your lawyer can understand as well. Toolkits, legal aid resources, as you see, and a FAQ section, frequently asked questions section. Here's a static picture of that homepage of Housing is Key, and it is now appropriate at this moment that I now turn over this presentation to Lourdes Castro-Ramirez, who has worked so hard in her capacity as chair of this agency to make sure that this site is dynamic, up and running, and means something. And I say means something to everybody, every Californian. You'll see the reference to California for all, always mindful that California is the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. And we recognize we speak many languages. Sometimes we speak past each other. We don't want to do either. We want to make sure that we meet people where they are. And Lourdes is here to do just that as she explains the site a little bit more, but also provides some remarks.